Hey guys, Terry here. I am going to make my daughter a card. She just moved into a new apartment, so I looked through my different stamp sets, and there's a really cute one here called Beautiful Ride, and it's got this little love bug, and I thought I would do the car and the suitcases and the journey begins. And then on the inside I'm using this couple of stamp sets. This one here that's called Hey Chick, the Hey Chick, and Missing You from Home to Roost. So I thought I would stamp that on the inside. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll stamp on the inside first. I like to use VersaFine black, Onyx black, because it's just a nice juicy black. And then I also like to emboss with clear embossing powder. So let's stamp the inside of the card first. Let's put this in here, and then we'll decorate the front. I thought this was cute. Missing You. I have my stamp sets in Evernote, which is kind of a nice database that allows you to access it from your different computers and tablets and phone. So I searched in my folder of Stampin' Up! Stamps, came across these. I'm not going to emboss the inside, we'll just stamp this message. So, Missing You. And then we'll wipe that off. I use a stamp chamois to wipe my stamps off. I don't know if you can see that over there. Just wiping that stamp off. It gets it really clean. Okay. We got Missing You. And Hey Chick. Let's put this right above it. This is the Misty Stamp Positioner tool. You've seen me use it. I like it because if you do happen to not get the whole thing, you can re-stamp. So I love it for that. But this black ink works really well. I mean, it does a really good job. So we got the inside done. I like to start with something simple like the inside. And then let's do the top part. So this is Nina White Solar. It's a 110-pound weight card, so it really is nice and thick. So I'll put the pad back into the Misty. And then I'm going to do the car. I thought this car was really cute. That's kind of what started the whole idea. And then, depending on how I do the, depending on how big this car and message is, we'll layer it with some pretty colored paper. Just getting my embossing powder ready. And I will get the car out. Yeah, the car is pretty big, so we won't have too big a piece of paper on it. I think I'll just stamp it on here and then decide how much I'm going to trim it down. So it really doesn't matter where I put it on the piece of paper, we'll trim it. I want to leave room for the suitcases on top. So first we'll stamp the car, and let me get my heat gun here. Plug in the heat gun. This is just an old heat gun that I've had for years. There's probably newer, more efficient ones, but this one still fits the bill. Okay, here comes the car. I don't know if I have it straight or not. I'm looking at the grids on the Misty here. To see if I have it straight. So the suitcases are going to go up here, and then the message is going to go down here. Looks good. Okay, so making sure my paper is down in that bottom corner. First time you use your stamps too, they may not take all the ink, so it's nice to be able to re-stamp it. See that in the middle there? Didn't get it all, so I can put some more ink on it and reapply it. That looks good. And then I want to quickly put the embossing powder on it while the ink is still wet. I just have it in this little plastic tray. Embossing powder comes in a little jar, but I find that this tray is nice because then I don't have to pour it back into the jar. So that looks good. I'm going to heat up my heat gun. While that's heating, I'll wipe off my stamp here. I find that the embossing just adds so much to it. It's kind of like inking around the edges. Once you start, it looks so plain if you don't do it. So it would have been fine to stamp this in the black, but I think it just adds so much when it's just got that extra little bit of embossing powder on it. Okay, so now let's do the suitcases across the top here. You can see it warped the paper a little bit, but when we glue it down, it'll lay flat. So take that over here, and I want to get the suitcases. Put those suitcases right on top there. Okay, get the black ink again. Oh, good. I was afraid I did it too high up, but that looks good. Put the powder on it. Okay. Finally, we'll put the words on it. So let's see, I had picked The Journey Begins, but I kind of like Life is a Beautiful Ride. How about that one? Let's do that one. That one seems really cute. She's moved into a 2-bedroom apartment with a friend, and it's a really nice setup. It's two bedrooms with 2 baths. That looks good. I don't think I'm gonna. I might put the embossing on the letters. I don't know. It doesn't need it. Okay, that looks good. Looks good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is decide on the background paper. So one of the things that I do to make card making easy on myself is one, I have my stamps my stamps organized so that I can kind of find the theme that I'm looking for. The other one is that I have what I call inspirational scraps. So all of my scraps that I have with my cardstock, I cut down to 4x6, and I don't keep anything smaller than the 4x6. And I've got those in a rainbow pack of colors. And I keep my tools and my ink and my Misty and card fronts and the card bases all together here. So I'm ready to you know, make a card at any time. So just like you have your tools out for scrapbooking, that's what I have ready for my card making. So I usually have something on the front that's the sentiment, some kind of colored paper decoration, which is what we're going to do next, and then layer that all onto a card base with a cute message inside, something that I can sign. So let's find some paper. I just happen to have a little stack of recent papers that I've gotten here. Now, knowing that my daughter is into purple paper, I'm thinking I'm going to trim this down. I might even cut this with a an oval or something. Might do that. And then have this be just some type of paper here. I'm looking for something purple because she's a purple girl. This is cute. Or maybe find a way to incorporate both pieces of paper there. Just looking through the colors. Oh, here's purple too. So something with these papers. They're so pretty. So let me look at my dies and see what I'm going to use to cut. I want to cut the the shape down a little bit so that I can really show off that different paper onto the card. So let me go check out my dies. Again, in terms of ease of use, I have my dies in one of these plastic containers. I've got them on these magnet strips here, and then I've got my die cutting machine here. So I decided to cut it on one of these, just cut it out with a circle, and I think this looks good. Bring this over, and we'll put the paper on the card and see what we can make this look like. So I have a set of circle dies. This car is a little bit big. Yeah, get the edge off of it. But that is really cute. Okay, so now I got to decide on the paper. I kind of want to make it be maybe multicolored. I don't know. I really like this here. So maybe I'll do that with a couple of strips of the purple. maybe we'll do 2 little strips of the purple and this on it. So let me cut this down. So where's my little cheat sheet piece of paper? Here it is. So the card base is a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper cut in half. So that makes this 4 1/4 by 5.5. So if I want to have a border on it, and I don't think I do. I don't think I want the white border. I want this to be the whole outside. So let me cut this to 5.5 by 4 1/4. Okay, so that's going to be on there. Sometimes I make it a little bit smaller so that there's a border, but I think I don't want that in this case. I think I just want that and this, and then a couple of strips of these other colors here. So let me cut those 4 1/4 inch wide just by a little strip. Okay. So I like to use the Tombow liquid glue. And with any liquid glue, you don't want to use too much. So you can put that on the edges. I gave these 2 little scraps just enough to show the color. They're not going to show much on here. But just something to add a little dimension. And speaking of dimension, I'm going to put some pop dots on here, just a handful. I think popping it up gives it just a little, I don't know, a little something. Trimmed my fingernails. Now I don't have anything to pull the backings off with. Okay. Put this on here. Okay. I could add a little bit of color to it, but I don't know. I think I like I want to keep it simple. Around the edge. I always make sure I have my card base turned the right way. We've all glued the card on in the wrong direction. Don't want that. It's not scooting. Come on, scoot. Another thing I've seen people do is use the Misty or your Scorpow and put it inside here and get it lined up. There we go. Okay. I think she'll get a kick out of it. We all like to go to our mailbox and find a fun piece of mail. So got that on there. I need to trim a little bit off the bottom, but there's the card. I think it's cute. Just a little pop of color and then a little message that we miss her. So I think it's cute. I've got the envelope ready to mail to her, and she'll get it in a couple days, and I think she'll get a kick out of it. So thanks guys for watching me make a card, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks. Okay, one more thing. I couldn't leave it plain. I decided to get out my blends, and also, you know, I've got my Nuvo drops out now so that I remember to use them. So these you just squeeze out like stickles. You just squeeze it out, and the idea is that it makes one of those little epoxy dots. You can see it's got a little thing, but as it dries it'll settle down and make a nice little drop. So I decided to add a few of those and color in the car. So I used my Stampin' Up! Blends, and that. I just think it adds a little bit to it. It really is cute to have the car and the suitcases colored. So talk to you guys soon. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Thanks.